should I start over?
If you could.
Well, I could introduce this important bird area poster. Okay, so what was your name again?
Steve.
So Steve just saw an albatross, and they were about 3 to 5 miles off. We were talking about where those birds come from. Not 100%, but pretty much they're over in this part of the Pacific. But what they do as a result of this research, they tag birds here, and then they can sit back in the office and go, oh, because it's a satellite telemetry.
Sure.
So it's tagged, bounces off the satellite, you're in the office, and they're going, it's still on the wing, and it's still flying north and east. And it's still flying north and east, and it's still flying, now it's flying south and west. So come and forage here in the California current, turn around and go back and feed the chick.
That's wonderful.
1,000 miles. It's like the equivalent if you were an adult and you need to go get food for your offspring, your kids, going from here to Denver to come back and feed the offspring.
Oh, I did that all the time.
So in any event, this important bird area program, you've got shearwaters from Chile that are coming feeding in the California current.
Wow.
Yeah. And so this is
These are all tagged birds. You know this from all the tagging.
No. Some are tagged and some are research projects.
Okay.
So this is this marine seabird team that said, oh, you know what? Here's the foraging areas. And so as an example, you got Cedar Bank or Astoria Canyon. Do you know about Astoria Canyon? About 700,000 sooty shearwaters will come and feed right there. Every year. So these are hot spots in the ocean that are consistently feeding areas within the California current. Runs across the North Pacific, hits British Columbia and Washington, heads down towards Baja. Okay, it's the California current. Of course, we've got the Davidson current that heads north. But within this California current, what we realize is that, okay, so for Oregon, that team of specialists says, oh, let's draw some circles. So everybody got together. Specialists got together and they said, oh, Astoria Canyon for sure, Sooty Shearwaters, oh, Cedar Banks for sure, this is albatross. Oh yeah. So everybody started drawing these circles in the ocean. So we unveiled this at the World Seabird Conference. And so everybody drew these circles. So we then had this marine IBA concept in play for the state of Oregon. And we unveiled that at the World Seabird Conference. So BirdLife International says, you guys have got a template. Let's go, this is called an LME, Large Marine Ecosystem, this oceanic river, okay? So there's 8 of these around the world. And so this is just one. So then we get the template about these hotspot feeding areas. So now BirdLife is exporting them around the world to these other large marine ecosystems. So there'll be the same concept of hotspot feeding areas in the ocean that you will see that next tier of analysis that's going to come out for these other large marine ecosystems around the world that are oceanic rivers, basically. You know, we've got real problems over in this part of the world, in the ocean.
Yeah.
I mean, as bad as it is over here, it's really bad over here too.
Yeah.
And so all these, and it all has to do with those continental shelves and the breaks and the wind
and the currents too.
And the currents too. All that plays into these marine current.
Now, are you able to draw conclusions from the research about the foraging food that's available to all these birds?
Well, as a result of drawing attention to this, Pew and the team, and I say team very broadly, they had this forage fish campaign that we were a part of, about 10-year strategy, which was to influence the Pacific Fishery Management Council process and ODFW. And so if we do not have good population assessments trends, you take a precautionary approach. Sound radical?
Yeah.
Well, in any event, that was our agenda. And agencies all kind of says, oh, it makes sense. We've got to manage more of the phrase is ecosystem-based approach. Okay? And so we were pushing, and now we have them. So if you don't know, you have to take a precautionary approach and make sure that there's enough feed for these other species. It isn't just, oh, I'm just concerned with halibut and salmon, and I'm going to go get them. If there's any wiggle room, I'm going to go get them. Now you have to take care of seabirds, marine mammals, all that. So that ecosystem-based approach is a new template that the agencies have all kind of embraced. But this is kind of one of the newest things that we've been engaged with that is now gaining momentum worldwide. And so my agenda is to actually connect with folks down in these different parts of the world, because I'm working on this side related to prey base, and they're working on this side for nesting habitat. And so these are new connectivity pieces of the story that should be shared and in policy as well as engagement. So to me, it's pretty exciting to be a part of it. So we get to sit on the Central Coast and just be one piece of a strategy, you know.
Pretty cool.
So now if I had this other map, we've got identified 200 locations. So a new program is called B2B, Baja to Barrow, Alaska. Baja to Barrow, 200 locations, millions of birds in those colonies. And so that was the next strategy. Establish it here, take an ecosystem-based approach, California current, gather the data, and then draw the circle. So this is a non-regulatory, other than you get to influence the policy of a precautionary approach. So that's the agenda.
So you're with Audubon Portland?
I manage the Audubon Sanctuary near Yachts.
Yachts, okay.
Yeah, and so that gives me, and I got a little handout there, that gets me into the focused 100,000 acre block.
Remember he gave testimony at that thing we went to in Newport?
The Rocky Shore Plan?
Rocky Shore.
Oh, yeah. No,
Yeah.
I don't remember that, but
Yeah.
Thanks for reminding me of a really painful experience.
Yeah.
It's like I was telling him, we had no idea what we were walking into.
We weren't told anything about it. And we just thought we were supposed to introduce ourselves. He wants us to address those two issues. I'm thinking, what the hell are you talking about?
Well, you did hear, I don't know if you heard what I said, but my agenda on that, right?
Yeah, I did.
So we have yet to be determined designations, and I want a determination that is a conservation approach. So we have in our footprint here 8 state parks, and half of them have a yet to be determined designation.
Oh.
So I want to get a habitat reserve or a research reserve.
Yeah.
So PSCO's been doing
Yeah.
research here for 20 years at Strawberry Hill and Neptune State Park.
Yeah.
And it's a yet to be determined state park. It's like, okay, this is one thing we can do.
Good. Excellent. Excellent. Well, this is good information. You said there is something we should have, like what that you have one of your links. We should have it on our website, or we should be aware of it. You said at the beginning when we were talking.
Oh, so this right here.
Yeah.
So this is the phase 1, phase 2.
Class?
Oh, I'm glad you made it.
Just give me your name and your email. And we'll contact you and figure out what dates we're going to do it on.
So, you're going to enter the drawing right there. It's free.
Tell me what you're all about.
We're with the American Cetacean Society of Oregon. It's an organization that comes out of California, but we have a chapter here in Oregon now. And they train us to be marine mammal specialists. And we go to various spots and help the public ID marine mammals. I have a special interest in seals, but whales are a big part of our program too. And we're trying to promote conservation and preservation of our sea mammals.
Okay.
You're now on camera.
All right.
Tell us who you are and why you're here.
All right. Hi, I am Tara. I'm an AmeriCorps volunteer with Washington, and our mission is to create aesthetically pleasing art which spreads awareness about plastic pollution in the world's oceans. So we're an educational environmental organization with the mission of cleaning up beaches in Oregon and spreading the word all over the country about what we're finding. So we spread our large sculptures, like these guys, to places like Disney World, we're at the Smithsonian Museum, Clinton Presidential Library. We just opened up our first international in Toronto, so we're getting out there and being as loud as possible about I don't know, what we're finding and trying to inspire people to do something different instead of using plastic to think about the future.
Thank you.
Yeah.
No one has that they are stopping the research for the next 1,000 miles.
Oh, hi, how are you?
Good. How are you? Could you
Good.
tell us who you are and what you're all about?
Oh, okay. Let me get back over here so I'm not making a mess here. So I'm Fawn Custer and I'm with Coast Watch, which is a volunteer organization in which people adopt their mile of beach that they like to walk on. And the purpose of that, of course, is to look for any changes or concerns that you see maybe happening on your beach. This is a program that's been around since 1993, and it's coast-wide. And so the nice thing is, again, is all it costs you is a walk on the beach. And we can always use more adopters all the time because of the fact that our beach is changing every single day.
Now, do you have someone walking the Secret Beach?
I think we do have adopters on almost every single mile of beach. But again, since we only ask our adopters to report 4 times a year, we can always use additional eyes on the beach. So we can have plenty of people walking the same mile and adopting the same mile.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
My name's Mary Garrett, and I'm with the Shoreline Education for Awareness out of Bandon. We are a friends group to the fish and wildlife. Primarily what we do is educate the public on our seashores, our marine mammals, the birds nesting on the Oregon Islands. And during the wintertime we have seminars to educate people about conditions in the ocean and kelp beds and that sort of thing. So we work collaboratively with Wash the Shore, Oregon Conservation Coalition, and other agencies to get the word out how important it is to protect our oceans and be educated on the plastic pollution and just to work with preservation of our fragile wildlife.
Thank you. Hi, how are you?
Good, how are you doing?
Good. You want to talk a little bit about what you do?
Sure. So I work for the Oregon Department of Fish and Wildlife Marine Reserves Program, and we're tasked with the management, oversight, and a lot of the research that occurs in the Marine Reserve. So in Oregon, we've got 5 reserves. This is the southernmost one, and there's 4 north of here. So we do research in each area. We use a lot of different tools. We do collaborative efforts with, we have our own, and then we also collaborate with academics from University of Oregon. We collaborate with researchers from Oregon State University. So we can really do a lot of different things to track if and how life and habitats in the reserves change over time. So one tool we work with researchers from Oregon State University on is juvenile fish sampling, and that's what this is. It's called a Smurf, and it's basically a way to measure baby fish that live in the reserve. So these go out at Redfish Rock and Otter Rocks, and they go out in the spring, and they're out offshore until the fall. And basically they're checked every 2 weeks. They're attached to a buoy and they just float below the surface. And juvenile fish are attracted to this because they like to hide in the holes and nooks and crannies. And then every 2 weeks, researchers partner. We partner with Oregon Coastal Aquarium. We partner with local fishermen to go out and sample what fish have found a home in here. So then we bag it up and shake it out, and little baby fish fall out. And that way we can track what species are recruiting to these areas. So that's one tool we use. We also do long line surveys with a commercial fisherman out here, Captain Jeff Miles, and we do hook and line surveys with lots of volunteer anglers, and we go out and collect information about fish length and what species are there and that kind of thing. We also do a lot of underwater video research to look at all different kinds of habitats, and again to see if and how these areas might change over time with the protections in place that the reserves provide. So,
Thank you very much.
Work? Okay.
The salmon's dead because the pollution touched it.
Look at this middle area. What do we call this area? This is the estuary. This is where the river and the ocean are mixing their fresh water and salt water. It's a really important area in our ecosystem.
Where can I have a seal? I lost it. I can have a seal.
So often
They also made an underground.
car in the river.
Made an underground too. waterfall that lets all the water out of you.
That's very literal, Ty.
It doesn't do it hard.
Only on this.
Is the water real? Is that water real?
Okay, it could get diluted. That's true. But think back to these cows. If these cows are eating grass that has dirty stuff on it, do you think that dirty stuff might go in the cow's body? Yeah. So what about all those animals that live in the ocean? Do you think some of that pollution might end up in their bodies too?
You came over here.
Oh, you didn't tell me that. Well, what would you like me to talk about? We're looking at dulse. It's a red algae. It's considered one of the fastest growing protein sources on Earth. Don't have any facts to substantiate that. It's really awesome. Propagating more plants is as simple as breaking it apart. It's an interesting algae, actually. It's considered a macroalgae instead of a microalgae. Growth rates vary tremendously depending on light, nutrients available in the seawater we're using. We're using seawater directly out of Nellie's Cove. It's pumped through just regular pump, and then it's run through a 140 micron and 100 micron mesh filter and then UV. We get it as clean as we can before it gets to the tank, and yeah.
And guess who doesn't fish there?
Thank you.
Sorry.
I know I gotta go back to work here in a few minutes. I don't want to.
See some intestines here.
He's just getting to the
The abdominal
interesting.
cavity, yep. Organs of the body. They're separated by the diaphragm, which is this right here. The diaphragm is a muscle, and when it's contracted, it's pulled downward or towards the tail, and that creates a vacuum, negative pressure, and that pressure causes the lungs to inflate. Yeah, pretty much. If we were on the beach, things would be complicated, especially by the wind. And I'd be stooping down on the sand. Yeah, the sand blowing. Diane and David have helped, and they've actually performed quite a number of. They know from experience.
Yeah, except for the sea anemones, which are in one end out the same end, kind of. Yeah. Cool. Well, let's see what else we got in here. These guys are making a comeback. So I used to notice, used to see them either bright purple or bright orange. Do you remember before
the ones I remember just in the intertidal zone were mainly bright purple, bright orange.
Right, and now I'm seeing a lot of.
And then offshore were the
big pink ones. That's Brevis spinus. That's a different species. But now I'm seeing a lot of brown. It's like it's kind of like a morph between the orange and the purple.
Wow.
Yeah, I know. And this one is, not. I mean, they used to be like either
Yeah.
super bright orange or super bright purple, and now there's a lot of in between. But there's definitely a lot more than there were several years ago.
What I noticed with the sun stars
Yes,
that are
Pygmapodia,
starting to come back.
but they're small.
Well, they're all small,
Yeah.
but because normally they were like this purple
Yeah,
with like orange arms.
Yep.
And all the ones we're seeing are just like a weird
Brownish.
orange.
Oh, orange.
Yeah, like a brownish orange.
Interesting. Yeah.
Like brownish in the center with orange arms instead of, that
Yeah.
purple.
Right, bright purple with orange.
Where
Yeah,
did you find these?
We collected most of them at Rocky Point, but some of them off the docks, just down there at the dock.
I walked in Seekabee, and they were gone.
Yeah.
They're still gone.
Yeah,
primarily.
they're coming back. I mean, it used to be that
I
you
see
would...
one or two now.
Used to be
see
that you would
hundreds.
go out and there would be the line of, and then right above the line of sea stars would be the mussels, and so they would like go to their upper threshold and the mussels would be just above their upper threshold. And now,
We don't see the mussels like we used to.
No, it's true. Yeah, and you would think that the mussels would be more abundant because the sea stars were gone, but yeah.
Large tree just somehow came in this week, and there are very small muscles all over it because it's been out somewhere in the water for a long time.
Right.
But 6-7 years ago, you could go down and harvest them easily, walking the beach, and have nice sized ones to take home and boil.
Right. Well, I've been doing this for almost 20 years and I am noticing that there is a decrease in diversity out in the intertidal. Just a general lack of diversity. Not seeing all the chitons that we used to see. Not seeing the diversity of sea stars. I mean, we really only found one species of sea star, and then I found. Okay. Then I found one weather star, but everything else is Pisastrocraceus,
What do you attribute that to?
I'm not really, I mean, there was that, that big die-off, but just also in a lack of diversity in the gastropods, not so much in the crustaceans. We're still seeing, I didn't see many kelp crabs, which is something that we normally would find out there, but it's more the echinoderms, I guess, and the gastropods I'm noticing. So the intertidal here it's not quite as diverse vertically as South Cove in Charleston, but we didn't have a permit to collect there this year, so we weren't able to do that. We did find one abalone out at the docks, which was really exciting, but we left it there because they're also making a comeback. So.
I can remember 5-6 years ago walking and the sand would seem to be moving from all the little sand crabs, migrating down and out to the water, and again I see very few of them.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I haven't been out to South Cove this year, so I don't know if diversity is down there too, but we do kind of, between the capes, Blanco and Sebastian, we do have our own little ecosystem here. There was that researcher that came down from OSU and was looking at acidification and found that this area isn't acidifying to the extent that the rest of the coastline is, but I think also because of the way the topography is of the coastline that maybe there's the potential for the waters to get more warm in our little zone between the capes, which could be obviously a problem for intertidal critters, more so than subtidal maybe. So,
I don't know what I view. I think it's very shallow off of the Seekabee, at least for a way. I don't know. I've never waded out.
Is it rocky or sandy? I haven't been there.
It's sandy most of the time, but there'll be a storm, a section of the beach that used to be sandy, all of a sudden will be rocky.
Right.
And it's otters
Likely what?
use.
Oh, like used.
There's no legal entry in it for several miles with
Right.
the bluff, so there are otter living on it.
Sea otter?
I assume they're small. I don't know if they're sea or
we
river.
did see
but
some otters out there, but they were river otters.
They tend to come up and nest
Yeah.
on the bluff somewhere. And,
Right.
My friend saw one with 3 pups the other day.
Right.
So.
River otters are kind of longer, their bodies, and you would see them kind of walking around and frolicking. They came up on the rock to check us out. But sea otters, that's not really their behavior. They're mostly floating around and they do a lot of grooming. But yeah, Jim Rice gave a talk last night and talked about the otters and how they're sort of making their way down from Washington. Sea otters, that is.
We had one day, it was really fun. We're walking and we see the otter, and the otter is following us.
Interesting.
He's and watching us.
Right. Wow. Yeah, they're very curious. We've seen them in New River too when we've been out at New River, just kind of playing around.